Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our series on refuting the claims of scientific miracles in the Quran. I am your host, Fadi, and obviously you can watch this series on our YouTube channel, CIRA International, and of course through our Facebook platform as well. With me here in studio to continue our analysis of these claims, my dear brother, Dr. Jay Smith. Jay?
Yeah, we've
what
gone
is
through
today's claim?
We're coming on to now the fifth one that Muslims claim is a miracle. And this is chapter 16, verse 66, or Surah 16, ayah 66. Let me read it to you, what it says in the English translation. And verily, in the cattle, so these are cows, there is a lesson for you. We give you to drink of that which is in their bellies, from between excretions and blood, pure milk, palatable to the drinkers. So what it's saying here is that the milk of the cows, which I love, it is my favorite drink, comes milk, but it's not from the udder. I've always thought milk came from the udder. It's saying it is from between excretion and the blood. That means the bile and the blood. So you're saying that that's where it comes from, the milk itself. Now, I don't think of too many people who are in husbandry that would agree with that analysis. So this is not a proof. This is actually an error.
And I think we're going to talk also about scientific errors of the Quran.
We're kind of talking about it as we go, aren't we?
That's right, exactly. And this is just a classic example. I mean, last time we talked about another error stating that the sun sits in a pool of mud, which in today's, science, I mean, if you mention this to any serious scientist, they are not going to take you seriously at all because of all of the discoveries that we have. And now we have another claim that is taken literally, basically, at least taken literally at the time when it was revealed, that's where the milk is coming from. Now, I know, by the way, some of our Muslim friends, by the way, Jay, will tell you that these are metaphorical things. I mean, have you dealt with that before?
Yeah, and I would suggest to be careful of that because the Quran, if there is certain metaphor it's meant from that, this is not a metaphor because there's no imagery that it's trying to portray. We look at the mustard seed as a metaphor because it's talking about the kingdom of God. You need to look and see that it's referring to the kingdom of God, the smallest to the largest. Right. If you look at a mustard seed, look how large it becomes the size of a tree. There's the metaphor there. This is what is this comparing it to? It's not comparing it to anything.
No, here's a claim by the God saying, take an example of this.
Now, let me say one thing else to Muslims who are watching this. Whenever we put this up on YouTube, on both CIRA and on Fander Films, do go and comment at the bottom. We want to see you comment on
Absolutely.
this. We want to see you respond to this. This is not just for you to listen to. We also want you to engage with us. All those of you who are also watching this, go and look at the comments. That's the beautiful thing about YouTube. You can actually come and say what you think is going on here. Let's get this discussion going. Let's get this debate going. Fadi and I are very clear that we think these are not proofs at all, that these are drastic errors. Understandable errors because these are all written by people who are observing this, and they assume, in this case, that milk that you can take it out of the teats of the udder, it must therefore come from somewhere else in the body, excrement and the blood. No, it doesn't come from there, but do comment. Let's talk about it. Let's get engaged. We don't want this to be passive. We want you to see that though we come from this standpoint, we could be wrong. We could be getting it wrong. Maybe this is a metaphor. Maybe this is a hyperbole. Maybe this is a simile. These are quite normal in the Bible. In the biblical context, we know that the Bible is made up of that because it is always giving something in comparison to another, and then you know it's a metaphor.
Absolutely.
God clapping his hands. Like a tree clapping its branches. That is a metaphor. So you can, there's certainly, I don't want to dispel it or dismiss it or try to say that this is not what's going on. Let's engage on it and let's see if this is correct.
Amen. I mean, there's something in the Bible called similes, and you can tell in the context that there is a comparison that has taken place. So thank you so much for clarifying that for our audience, and thank you indeed for inviting them to engage with us with comments. We love to hear from you. In fact, we would love to hear your reaction to what you're hearing. If this is for the first time you've heard something like this, let us know how that makes you feel, basically. And if you're still convinced that what the Quran is saying is true, give us your evidence. Why do you think it is true and you're still convinced that there is no error whatsoever in it. And hopefully you'll find this series very helpful to your ministry. Until we meet again, have a blessed day.